Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. How are we all doing this fine afternoon? And Man City have become European champions for the first time in their history. They've done so with a 1-0 win over Simone Inzaghi's Inter Milan last night in Istanbul. They become the sixth team to win the Champions League from England and have won the Champions League, like I said, for the first time in their history. And also make history in terms of becoming the second ever English team behind Ferguson's Manchester United, who did it in 1999, to do the ultimate treble, the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Champions League. And long story short, in this video I'm basically just going to be giving Man City, the players and Pep Guardiola their praises, to be honest, and just appreciating this team. And if you're not here for that and you're just going to go, oh, a Chelsea fan just licking the arses of Man City, fair enough if you see it from that perspective, but to be honest, I'm just a firm believer in appreciating greatness in other teams, and I'm not going to be one of those fans that just goes, if they're not Chelsea, the fucking shot, you know what I mean? There's what's the point in that, realistically? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love to, take the piss out of the other teams, like say when Arsenal bottled the league. You guys will know if you're a fan of this channel, I absolutely rubbed salt into the fucking wounds of Arsenal fans when they bottled the Premier League, which they definitely did, by the way. And then just Spurs being Spursy as well, I'll take the piss out of them on a weekly, if not daily basis. But I will be the first person to appreciate another team when they've deserved to be appreciated, and praise another set of players and praise another manager when they deserve to be praised. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing in this video. So if you're not here for it, fair enough, and I wish you well. But we'll just get straight into this video now, talking about this Man City team, who are just on an absolute another level. But first and foremost, I'm going to say it, I thought Inter Milan were quite unlucky yesterday. I really did. I thought they were probably the better team on the overall scale of things. I mean, 1.6 expected goals to 0.99 for Man City. They created 4 big chances compared to 2, and with those 2 big chances really late in the game, being 1-0 down, I thought that they were massively unlucky, and I thought they were actually the better team, to be fair. I thought they defended well, I thought they countered well, and I don't think they let City be half as dominant as they usually are against any team in the world, pretty much. I mean, we've seen how dominant City can be against, United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Inter Milan really limited that for the 90 minutes, and I thought they played really well. But overall, Man City got themselves the win and scored 1 extra goal than Inter Milan, which does of course mean, in the rules of football, that they won the match. So with Rodri's goal on 68 minutes, a historic moment for those Man City fans now to take to the grave. I mean, this City team, last night was obviously the City team that have played for the majority of this season, or if not the run-in, which obviously was the main part where City were absolutely unbreakable and unstoppable in all 3 competitions. And if you just look at their team, right, Ederson in goal, a world-class goalkeeper. I know he gets disrespected, but he made a few very important saves last night, and with the ball at his feet, I don't think there's a better goalkeeper in world football, to be honest. I think Ederson is literally an 11th outfielder, which is exactly what Pep Guardiola wants in this hyper football system, this pure possession-based system, and Ederson is absolutely perfect to that. Then you have the back 3, Nathan Ake, who's come on leaps and bounds at City this season. I mean, this guy is an absolutely quality, reliable 1v1 defender. We saw that this time at Chelsea. I mean, I was one of the main ones that when Chelsea sold him, I was kind of like, just give him a chance. But obviously that was before we actually gave Cobham graduates a chance in the first team. But Nathan Ake has really showed his quality and what he's capable of in this City team this season, with his abilities not only in possession but out of possession, and being that reliable 1v1 defender in the left of a back 3, and the same with Manuel Akanji on the other side as well, who's been an absolute revelation in this City team, given the fact that when they signed him for 15 million or something ridiculous like that, I was thinking, what's the point in him signing? They already have Diaz, they have Laporte, they have Ake, they have Stones, but this guy has really stamped his authority on this City team and has been absolutely brilliant. And I thought yesterday was very good once again. And just again, like Ake, a very good 1v1 defender, quick, so he's able to defend against those quick wingers on those counter-attacks for opposition teams, and yet just really reliable in that right centre-back position, which is exactly what Guardiola wants from those wide centre-backs, is to be capable 1v1 defenders and to be difficult to beat with their pace as well. You've got Ruben Diaz, who I just absolutely love, honestly. I mean, Ruben Diaz, from a neutral fan's perspective, would be one of those centre-backs that I pinpoint as one of the best in the world. I just think his mentality and the way he goes about his football is just stone cold, isn't it? I mean, he's probably one of the best 1v1 defenders in the world of football, if not the best, and I just think his leadership as well is exactly, it'd be needed for literally every single club in world football, and I think Ruben Diaz is one of those centre-backs that's pretty much indispensable if you're a team like Man City, or any team in general, to be honest. So I think Ruben Diaz is one of those cogs that is just so important to get this City wheel moving, to be honest. Then you have the midfield double pivot of have Rodri, who's just, in my opinion, the best holding midfielder in the world by some far and some way. I know people will say Casemiro, but I think Rodri is so much more complete than Casemiro, especially in possession, where he's an absolute Rolls Royce, and for a fella of his stature as well, I mean, he's just so perfect. He is the benchmark of a holding midfielder in modern day football, and yet, like I said, I mean, I think he's the best holding midfielder in the world of football by some far and some way. You've got John Stones next to him, who I think is the best centre-back in the world, which says something considering he's not even a fucking centre-back anymore. He plays next to Rodri in that double midfield pivot and has taken to it like a duck to water, which I think you can only use to credit John Stones and his importance in this City team, and just how good of a player he is, that he's able to slot into a new role in a more advanced area of the pitch where he's never played before in his career and just excel there, to be honest. And he's so perfect for that, given the fact that he's technically absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, in this City team offers you that composure in midfield next to Rodri. Then you've got the wingers, Jack Grealish, who has, come on leaps and bounds this season, and once again has showed that the Pep second season syndrome really is a factor when you think of players like João Cancelo, even Nathan Ake to an extent, Rodri, who was like that as well, of players who struggled in their first season and just completely and utterly turned into a world-class footballer in their second season. And that's exactly what Jack Grealish has done this season. I know people are quick to go, he didn't get a lot of goals and assists, so why are people overrating him? But if you watch Jack Grealish play football, you'll know what he's about. The way he glides with the football, he's able to go inside and out, which is exactly what Pep Guardiola needs from a winger, to be that 1v1 winger and to isolate opposition fullbacks, which is exactly what he does. And yeah, I think his work rate off the ball for this City team as well is so key. And I mean, yeah, he's been absolutely ridiculous this season, Jack Grealish, and I'm absolutely delighted for him, even as an Irish citizen, that he succeeded in this City team, because he does seem like a really likeable guy, to be honest. And yeah, one of my favourite players when he was at Aston Villa from a neutral fan's perspective, just what he can do with the football. Then you've got Bernardo Silva on the right hand side, and honestly, I've been to see City play 3 times. Well, not to see City 3 times, but I've seen Chelsea play against them 3 times, if you know what I mean. But when you think about players, right, that you don't understand, you don't quite see the sheer and utter world-class brilliance in them until you see them in person. Bernardo Silva is the absolute epitome of that. And don't get me wrong, I thought he was a world-class player before I saw him, but you don't actually realise how quick he is with the ball at his feet and how much a magician this guy is with the ball at his feet until you watch him in person. And I'll say that to literally anybody I meet with regards to Bernardo Silva. He's an absolute world-class baller, and yeah, I mean, once again last night showed his quality and has been probably City's most unsung player in this Champions League run. I mean, the credit will go to Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne and Ilkay Gundogan to an extent, but Bernardo Silva is absolutely up there in terms of City's best players, and I just think he's absolutely just insane, Bernardo Silva, on another level. Then you've got those double eights of Kevin De Bruyne and Ilkay Gundogan. I mean, need I say any more? De Bruyne is he's just absolutely brilliant. In my opinion, I will say it once again, I think he is the best midfielder to ever grace the Premier League. I think in terms of what he's capable of doing, his range of passing, his vision, his ability to carry the ball, his ability to strike a ball from outside the box, his football IQ, Ilkay Gundogan the same. I mean, people will say he's underrated, but I don't think he's underrated anymore, because I think everyone has copped on now to the fact that he is a world-class player and is one of the best midfielders in the world with his football IQ. I have absolutely no doubt that this guy will become a top-class manager, because he's so intelligent at the game, his positioning and knowing where to be. That's why he scores so many goals, why he gets so many assists, his technical ability, his vision. Yeah, I just think Gundogan is just absolutely world class. I think he is the benchmark for that, say, central midfield, advanced 8 type position, type role in football. And yeah, I think he's absolutely ridiculous. And I think that if City don't get this guy tied down to a new contract, they will massively regret it, to be honest, because I mean, he as Pep Guardiola famously said, we cannot replace him, So, and then we've got the big man, the big boy, Erling Haaland up front. I'm so fucking jealous that Chelsea didn't sign him when we had the chance. And yeah, I mean, he's showing his quality at this City team. I mean, the fact he's got 36 goals in the Premier League alone this season, and I'm fairly sure, I could be wrong in saying this, but I'm fairly sure he's played less than 36 games for City in the league this season. He's just an absolute, I mean, people will call him a tap-in merchant. I just don't understand it, because the way I see it, right, if you're a tap-in merchant and you're scoring 36 goals a season in the Premier League alone, by all fucking means be a tap-in merchant. I mean, the guy is an absolute joke. I mean, he's built like a fucking, like nothing I've ever seen before, like we all know, to be fair. I'm just stating the obvious really with Erling Haaland, really, aren't I? But yeah, his movement, I mean, you can see this season from City, he's massively developing his ability to play with his back to goal and his link-up play with this City team. And I think under Pep Guardiola's guidance, this guy is going to become maybe, just maybe, the best striker of all time, because yeah, I mean, I think he's got absolute absolutely everything, to be honest. I mean, then you look at their bench, right? Phil Foden, who came on, an absolutely world-class talent. His dribbling ability is second to none. Kyle Walker, who the same, like Akanji and Ake, is just such a good 1v1 defender, so reliable in that, you know, back three on the right-hand side with his pace and with his ability to deal with 1v1 wingers. And then you've got the subs that didn't even come on, right? You've got Aymeric Laporte, who's arguably one of the best centre-backs in the world still, even though he hasn't played a lot of football for the last year. I mean, he'd walk into 95% of football teams in the world. You've got Riyad Mahrez, who's a world-class winger, Julian Alvarez, who I think is absolutely quality, Calvin Phillips, who even still is branded as a flop, but I still think is one of the best holding midfielders still in the Premier League, even though he's not played a lot of football at all this season. I mean, he's played like 4 or 5 games in the Premier League this season for City, which says a lot. And finally then, just with Pep Guardiola, just a final word on Pep Guardiola, because, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to buy into this absolute bullshit that he's not one of the best managers of all time because he spends loads of money or whatever. Absolute horseshit that is, because first and foremost, Man United under Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Louis van Gaal have spent, if not the same, a little bit more money than Man City have spent since Pep Guardiola took over. And look where that's got them. They've qualified for the Champions League like 3 or 4 times in those 7 or 8 years, you know. And I just think Pep Guardiola, first of all, yes, he has spent a lot of money, I will not deny that, but he has developed nearly every single one of these City players that he's bought, from good players into world-class players. You think of Ederson, who was decent for Benfica, not world-class like he is now. Nathan Ake, decent for Bournemouth, not, I'd say, top-class like he is now. Ruben Diaz, same for Benfica. Akanji, same for Dortmund. He was a decent player, Akanji, now looking like one of the best defenders in the Premier League, if not the world this season. Rodri, who was pretty much a nobody at Atletico Madrid when he signed, now a world-class midfielder, the best holding midfielder in the world of football. John Stones, who, yes, was a high talent, but had his fair share of criticisms and was called overrated by a lot of people, now the best centre-back in the world. Ilkay Gundogan, who was a good player for Borussia Dortmund, now a world-class midfielder. Kevin De Bruyne the same, even though he didn't sign De Bruyne. Bernardo Silva, who was, you know, good for Monaco, but now one of the best attackers in the world. The only players I'll really say that he hasn't massively improved yet are Jack Grealish and Erling Haaland, and bear in mind he's only had Grealish for 2 seasons, and he's only had Haaland for 1 season, and is it actually possible for Haaland to improve much more? That would be my main argument against that one. And yeah, that's just why I think Pep Guardiola is the best manager of all time in my opinion. I think that what he's done with this City team over the course of 7 or 8 seasons, the fact he's made the Premier League now look like Ligue 1, the Bundesliga, Serie A, with it being a 1-team league. They've won, what, 5 titles in the last 6 years or something? I mean, if it wasn't for that Liverpool season in 2019-20, City would have won like, what, 6 Premier Leagues in a row or something, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And especially in the toughest league in the world, where, don't get me wrong, it is the toughest league in the world and it's the richest league in the world, for him to dominate the league the way he has done. But if you're really thinking about it from an unbiased perspective, what this guy has done with this City team over since he joined really is absolutely unheard of, to be honest. And yep, I just think he's the best manager of all time, to be honest, like I've continuously said in this channel. But yeah, I think that's enough City arse-licking for one video. And yep, City fans, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and just in general, any neutral fans that are out there or fans of other clubs, let me know what you think of this City team in the comment section below. And if you disagree with my points on any of these players on the squad or Pep Guardiola in general, yep, let me know in the comment section below. Interested to see the debate on that one. And yep, leave a like in the video if you did enjoy it, would be massively appreciated. And if you could subscribe to the channel as well, that would also be massively appreciated. We are looking to hit 3,000 subscribers on this channel as soon as we possibly can, and turn on the notification bell as well, because you will never miss one of these absolutely quality videos. Said no one ever. But yeah, that'll do for today. I'll see you guys in my next video, and yeah, I'll chat to you later. Thanks for watching.